Welcome to another episode of Gary Warr Presents, and welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series on the amazing Amazon. You will recall in part 1 we began in Lima, Peru, from where we took a plane to the most remote city on earth, Iquitos, and joined our boat, the Rio Amazonas, from where we entered the fabled land of Amazonia. In part 2, we will begin with a visit of the indigenous tribe of Indians known as the Warr Indians. We will enjoy several cultural dances, and we will learn more about their way of life. We will also visit Francisco Grippa, the world-famous Amazonian artist, and we will enjoy his hospitality and experience, as he calls it, his grippismo. We will also go on a midnight frog hunt. We will see many things, so please sit back and join me on our new adventure, The Amazing Amazon, Part 2. Welcome to part 2 of my 3-part series on the Amazon. It is about 6 a.m. and we've been docked since early this morning. As you can see, we are on the Amazon. We can see the people along the banks of the river going about their daily lives as they have for hundreds of years. The first Europeans found the Amazon because they were 200 miles out to sea and still noticed that they were sailing in fresh water. Even today, ships anchor in the outflow of the Amazon to remove the barnacles and other marine life attached to their hulls. These saltwater organisms cannot live in fresh water. In the flood season, the Amazon widens to cover its banks. In fact, the area covered by the river and its tributaries triples over the course of a year. And here we are being visited by some day traders with handmade crafts for sale. And look at this, someone at the side of the river washing clothes the old-fashioned way, by hand. The main river body, which is between 1 and 6 miles wide, is navigable for larger ocean steamers all the way up to Manaus, which is about 1,500 miles upstream. Now listen to this interesting fact. The Amazon has changed its course several times over the years. In early Cenozoic times, before the uplifting of the Andes, the river flowed westward, which is the opposite direction from what it flows today. Please meet my new friend, Mr. Praying Mantis. Or is that a Ms.? This morning, we are off to visit an indigenous tribe in the jungle, the Warr Indians. Before we get there, let's discuss the Amazonian rainforest. It is the largest rainforest in the world. The jungle is only made possible by the extremely wet and humid climate of the Amazon River basin. The biodiversity of the rainforest is extraordinary. The region is home to 2.5 million insect species. Did you hear that? 2.5 million? Tens of thousands of plants and some 2,000 birds and mammals. The diversity and contrast of life is startling. For example, the Amazon water lily is the biggest flower in the world, with a diameter of over 6 feet, and we will see some of those later. The Carangura spider is bigger than a baseball, and one species of monkey weighing approximately 130 grams is about the size of a toothbrush. You can see drying clothes just about everywhere, as well as birds and wildlife. This new roof, I'm told, should last about 6 years. As you can see, this has all been made painstakingly by hand. These parakeets roam free, pretty much everywhere. Well, we found the Warr Indians. Let's just sit back and watch as they perform their stage magic. I always try to bring several dozen pens and packs of paper to hand out to the children. When traveling, this is always very much appreciated and leaves a lot of goodwill behind. Whoops! Looks like they found my stash of Tootsie Pops. Darn! Those are very popular as well. Now we are off to visit the compound of the world-famous Amazonian artist, Francisco Grippa. Born of Peruvian and Hungarian parents, he works his studio magic here in Pavis. Francisco trained in Paris, London, and New York, and exhibits extensively in the United States. His work attempts to interpret Amazonian life on canvas. He uses a unique, expressive, and impressionistic style, but in his own words, Grippa is Grippa. His work is indeed grippismo, as he calls it, and reflects a true virtuosity. With free coffee, soft drinks, beer, and fruits, and without an appointment, Francisco welcomes all his guests, whether or not you're buying a painting. After a short rest, we are here taking a jungle walk with our guide Neil. Let's listen to how natives make a canoe.
This is a cedar tree. This one here. This is one of the cedar. This is what we call the red cedar. The red cedar over here, which is also very good wood to make wooden boats, to make canoe, and to make some furniture as well. You know, from this tree here. This is now a special size to cut down this cedar tree and make you canoe. So why people prefer to use this one here is because the wood is very soft, and when you make a canoe, it's soft to make it to move. Because some people who has canoe in the river, sometimes they carry the canoe into the iceberg lake, that they have to go into the lake for 100 meters in there. That's why they prefer to use a cedar tree here.
Hey, what's this monkey business? And when's the last time you saw a green ladybug? And with the proper spices, these will make a great fungus salad. This is known as an Alilia ginger plant. It is used for burns. There is always a new surprise at every turn in the jungle, and this walk is no exception. Here we have run across a wild pig eating some vegetation. And now for the cleanup. Boy, doesn't this look painful? As night falls, we are preparing for a midnight exploration of the Amazon. Don't forget your flashlight. This is called a sticky frog, and boy, are they sticky. The forest is home to 57 endangered species. The range of plant and animals in the Amazon remains largely unknown. Scientists estimate that only 40% of the insect species have so far been identified. In the 1990s alone, 7 species of monkeys, 2 species of birds, and dozens of species of frogs and fish have been discovered. The total area of the Amazon rainforest is bigger than Western Europe, or to put it another way, it's 2/3 the size of America. The forest stretches over 8 countries. You can forget about sleeping in. There's just too much to see. This morning, Segundo is taking us on a jungle walk. The mornings in the Amazon are particularly peaceful, and the weather is still cool at this time of day. It's a great time for an adventure to begin. The Amazon River Basin is the largest reservoir of fresh water on Earth. As we mentioned before, birds are everywhere. A little climb up the riverbank and we're instantly in the jungle. Now this looks like fun. Actually, Segundo is keeping the trail open. If left unkept for 2 weeks, the trail will completely disappear. Now let's talk a little bit about the peoples of the rainforest. The Amazon has a long history of human settlement. Contrary to popular belief, societies of great complexity existed in the rainforest. Today's sparsely populated Amazon is largely the result of the population crash following the arrival of the Europeans in the 16th century. The Europeans brought war and disease to the New World that decimated the indigenous populations. Most of the remaining Amerindians, who originally lived on the banks of the Amazon, were driven into the interior of the forest. Despite this population decimation, native peoples still live in the Amazon rainforest, although virtually all have been affected by the outside world. Instead of wearing the traditional garb of loincloths, most Amerindians wear Western-style clothes and use pots, pans, and other modern utensils. Some make handicrafts to sell to tourists, and others make trips to the city to bring food and other merchandise to market. Nowadays, almost no native groups obtain the majority of their food by traditional hunting and gathering methods.
Hey, little white tail like a rooster, come off. Yeah.
This here is known as a rooster bug due to its rooster-like tail. Notice how delicate the tail is, and notice how good Segundo is with that machete. He uses it just like a scalpel. Now here are the giant water lilies I promised we'd see. The scientific name is Victoria amazonica, after Queen Victoria. The pod of the giant water lily is the largest in the world. They grow to approximately 6 feet in diameter. These will not grow in the Amazon River, as the current would destroy them. Instead, they grow in ponds along the main body of the river, which communicate with the Amazon only in the high water season. Each plant, rooted at the bottom of the pond, has 5 stalks, each of which has a lily pad on top. As the pad ages, it is eaten by aquatic herbivores. It is also used for sunning by many aquatic animals and birds. Now this is an interesting insect. Notice how well its camouflage blends in with the bark of the tree. And again, we see another Alilia ginger plant. And here are some delicate mushrooms. And you all recognize this banana tree, of course. Now here is an area that has been recently cleared for some farming. You can see some watermelon plants, and here are some banana trees. These birds, off in the distance, are known as Watson birds. They live upside down in trees like sloths. They only eat leaves. And more termites. We're slowly making our way back to the boat, and I cannot overstate the necessity of an experienced guide in the jungle. Not only is it easy to get lost, it is also very dangerous due to animals and particularly poisonous plants. Local knowledge is a must. Well, we're back to the boat and just in time for lunch. Oh yes, they do eat lunch in the Amazon. Why don't we all take a seat and listen to Segundo tell us where we've been and where we're going on this handmade map that he has made for us.
Okay, well, I started over here in Iquitos Sunday. Then we came down the river about 4 hours. Then we stopped in near to Rio Napo, which is the Napo came from Ecuador. This is the Rio Napo, Napo River. That's where the conquistadores, you know, the Francisco de Orellana, he came the expedition, started this way and came and discovered Amazon in 1542. So we stop over here as the Nile's father.
Okay.
Right here, more or less, is the sugarcane press. Sunday we stop here. Then after that, we come all night long down the river, this way. Then we stop right here, the Rio Ampillaco River. This river here, Ampillaco, which means a poisonous river. So we left the boat right in Pavas, and Pavas about 3,000 people. That's where we, Pavas one of the oldest village in Amazon, discovered Jesuit in 1735. Okay. Then we came by a little boat, about half an hour. We came to see these natives over here, the Bora tribes. Instead of B-O-R-A-S, Boras. That's where we see the dancing show. See some handicraft there. See the talking drum, everything. Then this was also the village of Vitotos. And this river is 3 natives, the Yawas and the Boras and Vitotos, and the Rio Ampillaco River. Then we came to stop in Pevas. That's where we see the Francisco Gripa, the artist.
Right.
That's where we have free drink and beer, everything there, right?
Right.
And then we came more down the river, we stopped to see this army base, and the soldiers. Then we stopped by Shishita, then you walk over here with Neil. Took a jungle walk yesterday, Shishita over here. Then we came more down the river, a couple more down there, then you did last night, the night boat excursion over here, trying to see caimans last night, right? Then after that, we came all over here now, near to this place, and this is Paranaquiro, a village. That's where we walk to see the lily pads over here. See the parrots and the lily pads over here. Now we're going to stop in Chimbote, which is the checkpoint, river checkpoint, control. You're going to stop there tomorrow morning too. On the way back by speedboat. That's what you're going to show your passport to tomorrow morning. Not now, just tomorrow. So we stop here for the control because crew control and ship control, paper control. So now, after this, we're going to start more over here to go to the village over here that we're going to walk over here since around 11 o'clock. Then after that, we go down the river by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30, we're going to fish in this big lake over here, Caballococha Lake. That's we're going to see the big lake over here, the lake, still Peru. We're going to fish there, and then we're going to walk around this village for about an hour and a half there. Nice village. From there, you can call home to America, from Caballococha, the telephone over there. And after that, we go all night long right to Santa Rosa, Peru.
And yes, another adventure. This time, we're going to see a local village and experience how they live in the jungle. Yes, we have no bananas. Or how does that go? We've hired a moto car to take us for a ride to our destination. We are taking a little shortcut on this old airstrip. Still, the road is nothing more than a series of bumps, but it still is a road. Beautiful, isn't it? And the fishing is good. It's time to get back to the boat. Traveling on the river can be very dangerous at night. It's the end of another glorious day on the Amazon, and darkness is beginning to close in on the jungle and surround us. This concludes part 2 of my 3-part series on the Amazon. Please join me for the not-to-be-missed conclusion, The Amazing Amazon, Part 3. And as always, thanks for watching.